Welcome to Fireside Giants. My name is Alex. Big news, guys. The Giants retained Leonard Williams finally after placing the franchise tag on him. $19.3 million cap hit had to come down. They finally got it done on a 3-year deal. Pretty good. So 3 years. I thought it might be a little bit longer, but the Giants ended up getting him for a pretty decent price. 3 years, $63 million with $45 million guaranteed. So it's about $21 million average per season, which isn't terrible. It's not over $22 million. It's not under $20 million. So it's between fair and insane. I'd say it's right in the middle there, but it's a price that they compromised on, and something that took a couple of days really to figure out. You know, there were reports coming out saying that it wasn't even close to being finalized, but the Giants needed to get this done ASAP because, of course, the second that they signed him, they also got wide receiver John Ross. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about both of these deals, you know, why I think it was important for the Giants to do both of these things ASAP. And as for Leonard Williams, you know, they lost a lot of leverage the second that Dalvin Tomlinson left, right? The second he signed with the Vikings, the Giants basically had no choice but to cough up the money to meet Leonard Williams' demands. Maybe he wasn't asking for insane money, but they found a good number at $21 million per season. And the contract is pretty good for 2021 too, simply because the cap hit goes from $19 million all the way down to $11 million. So I'm going to repeat that so you kind of understand the significance of this. They gave him a $22.5 million signing bonus, which essentially guarantees a specific amount of dead money for him for each season. It's pretty much spread out over the 3-year contract, that signing bonus. It brings down that $19 million cap hit that he had on the franchise tag down to $11 million. So they saved $8 million in cap space by getting this deal done. And immediately they utilized a little bit of it to get wide receiver John Ross. Now, we know the impact that Leonard Williams has on the defense. He is an integral part of this unit. They simply couldn't go into the 2021 season without Dalvin Tomlinson and Leonard Williams. A lot of people will wonder, you know, why do they overpay for him? Was he the best pass rusher on the market? And I'll tell you why. You look at Shaq Barrett, for example. He is a pure outside linebacker, defensive end pass rusher, and he earned $18 million per season. Now, Williams getting $3 million more than that, but it's different. You know, he's an interior defender. An interior defender who can get double-digit sacks is extremely valuable because not only is he getting after the quarterback very efficiently, but he's also stopping the run at a high level. So he's doing two things. And in addition to that, he can play nose tackle. He can play 0 tech, 3 tech, and 5 tech. Whereas Shaquille Barrett was primarily playing stand-up pass rusher or 5 tech, which really limits his value in terms of the ability to get creative. That's what defensive coordinator Patrick Graham loves to do. He loves to get creative. He likes to put guys in specific situations to succeed, and disguise coverages, which all develops around the offensive line, trying to get creative with stunts and twists and turns. And Leonard Williams is a big factor in that. So I think this is a very good deal for the Giants. I think, you know, $21 million, maybe you think it's a little overpaid because Shaquille Barrett got 18, but he's very valuable. Like I said, interior pass rushers, defensive tackles who can put up double-digit sacks do not come around very often. They are very impactful, and they get paid as such. You know, think about Chris Jones and Aaron Donald. I don't think Leonard Williams is as good as those two, but he's creeping up to Chris Jones' level, and with another great season under his belt, I think we could say he's hovering right around that range. Aaron Donald, obviously, head and shoulders above the rest. But I think this is a fair deal. The fact that it got the cap hit down from $19 to $11 million, that's the big one. That's the massive takeaway in my opinion. I posted a whole thread of all of his sacks last year. A lot of them were pure sacks. They weren't coverage sacks. A lot of them were pure bull rushes. He had a really nice stunts. He was spying. He was doing a lot of creative things. Patrick Graham needs him. They built this scheme around him, and letting him go was simply not part of the cards. They needed to retain him, and they finally got a decent guy there. So I think this is a very good move. As for John Ross, I like John Ross personally. I think this is a very good signing for the Giants because it's a low-risk, high-reward. It's a 1-year, $2.5 million deal. So, you know, this is nothing crazy, guys. This is basically just, you know, John Ross trying to get another opportunity in the NFL with another team. You know, he was drafted in 2017 as a first-round pick. Injuries have plagued him significantly the past couple of years. Really unfortunate. Only played in 3 games last year. But in 2019, his best season, 56 targets, 28 catches for 506 yards and 3 scores. The year before that, he had 7 touchdowns. But he only had a 36.2% catch rate. So maybe there's a problem there with his hands. He's a pure speed guy. He's a pure, you know, downfield threat. Somebody that can blow the top off a defense. You know, he'll compete directly with Darius Slayton, in my opinion, especially if the Giants draft a receiver, or if they go out and still get Kenny Golladay. You know, that's still a possibility. So I think this is interesting. we'll see what happens here with John Ross, but I do like this deal. I think it's a win-win. They didn't give him too much money, 1 year, $2.5 million. That's totally fine. That's not a crazy amount. And the Patriots do this all the time. The Patriots used to go out and find players who coming off injuries, get them on the cheap, and then turn them around and get some production out of them. John Ross can be that guy for the Giants. He can be a kick returner. He's extremely fast. He knows a 4.3 speed kind of guy. He's valuable, and the Giants can utilize a wide receiver like that. So I think this is a fine signing as a depth piece, maybe wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4. That's all you need, though, because the Giants still have Shep. They have Dante Pettis on the roster, and we do have to assume they're going to go out and either get Kenny Galladay, Curtis Samuel, or draft a guy like Devonta Smith. They have plenty of avenues they can go to upgrade this wide receiver position. Of course, you have Saquon coming back, but then the offensive line, do need to allocate a little bit of resources toward there, especially right guard after letting Kevin Zeitler go. But overall, these are two massive signings for the Giants. There's a little update just to give you my insight on what I think about these deals. But for the most part, Leonard Williams finally got the deal done, got that cap hit down from $19 to $11 million. That is a huge part of this. Something that we need to be harping on significantly, because the second that Leonard Williams got that deal done, it opened up John Ross's deal. They probably had it in place. They were like, the second that money opens up, we're good to go. They used $2.5 million immediately. And that's fine. They got that deal done. And the Giants also made another signing with fullback. Let's see what his name is here. Cullen Gillespie. Just a good special teamer. Joe Judge is a special teams guy. He wants to keep his special teams very effective. He's a good tackler on kickoffs and punts. Not much of a gunner, but I think he's more of a kickoff specialist in terms of getting down there quickly and making good tackles on the ball carrier up the middle. So that's a decent signing. Purely a special teams kind of signing there. They do have Elijah Penny. Gillespie is a fullback, so maybe they let go of Elijah Penny, save a little bit of money there. We'll keep an eye on that. But for the most part, I think these are two great signings for the Giants. They got the deal done with LW. That's a big one that we've been waiting for, even though he might have turned half the fan base against him in the process. People wanted to rescind the tag and whatnot. And then, of course, now you have John Ross. So I think this is interesting. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm curious to see what you think about John Ross and the retention of Leonard Williams, if you think it was a fair deal or not. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll be keeping you guys updated throughout the day on any new signings. We got you guys covered, as always, written content, video, and audio. Much love. We will catch you guys on the next video.